Book on dollar.com to get our lowest rates.
Why are you in my house?
All right, guys, let's go. Okay, hold on. I was not supposed to be showing you that just now. Not quite sure what's happening. Okay, feel like I'm on. All right. Hey, what's up, Matt? Thank you for the warm welcome. What a day, what a day. Or what a week it has been. I feel like I picked the wrong week to go on vacation. But it was all good. You know, much needed vacation, but I was able to record a few videos here and there. All right, hold on one second. Let me hold on one second. Did I? Okay, I see. Okay. So I was just looking at a few things here. I was gonna just do that while music was playing. Let's see. How's everybody doing? I'm just stalling because I feel like I need to wait for a few more people now. But why not just get straight to the point, huh? Why keep people waiting for too long? Hold on one second. Okay, so let's talk about the price action real quick. I mean, we all know what happened, right? a few days leading up to the announcement, we all expected that, right? We just didn't know how much Bitcoin they were going to put onto the balance sheets. Now, there's a lot of speculations and all that stuff. All I know is that now we have some Bitcoin to go off of, right? And so I was thinking, okay, let's just go with that. On the surface level, of course, we know that we have other stuff that the company, as far as the company goes, is doing well. I mean, there's no undenying that, or no denying that. Undenying. A little bit rusty. I haven't been live for quite some time, so forgive me for that. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I think yeah, I'm on. Okay, good. Have to double check, triple check to see, because one of the video that I recorded while I was on vacation didn't have the audios. That's disappointing. So it was the interview with Ryan Cohen and all that stuff. So you didn't get to see Ryan Cohen speak in that video, but subsequently there's a whole bunch of people already reacted to it already, and yeah. So apologize for that. I deleted that video already. So. Might be doing another reaction. Who knows? Depends on how I feel today. Not quite sure how long I'm gonna be here, so bear with me. I know it's in the morning right now. Depends on what's happening around the world. Who knows? I just watched something on X relating to Paris is burning down, like some protests again. Of course, Paris always, they're always demonstrating on the street and burning stuff and whatnot. So I don't know what the chaos is happening right now. And so that perhaps has something to do with the fear that is in the crypto market at the moment. That kind of, again, it's just sentiment, you guys. Like they could, trend the price up and down depends on the shares that they need. But then, they release all this news to give you like a reason why a certain thing comes down, certain thing goes up, right? But on the surface level, it's just the market maker who trying to shake you out of your position in and out and try to make you lose as much money as possible trading. So if you're one of those people, obviously, retail usually lose money. And you just have to learn how not to do that. So the only way how to win this is to, be long-term shareholder. So I know it's frustrating to some people because they see the price up and down like this and they're like, what the heck, right? But I'm telling you, this is to be expected, And I kind of gone through a video recently talking about how this price action here is a reminder of what happened after they announced the convertible notes, right? You see a sharp movement of price because they want the share to be there. Now, another speculation that I have as well with this is when institution wants a large sum of shares, they typically do this type of thing, okay? So that they could get the best price for the institution as much as possible. And so somebody's possibly changing their mind to accumulate massive amount of shares for GME. And so again, that's why I'm not like shaking out anything like that. But if anything, look, you guys, we're still in a bullish trend, okay? I mean, come on. If you see this and you're still bearish, sorry. I don't know what planet you guys are coming from, but and even if it comes down here to 27, it's still you guys remember I pointed out this gap over here. This gap still exists, okay? And even if it comes down, now pre-market on some like this gap right here, okay? If you zoom in, you could see that gap. that gap has already been filled pre-market. So again, the actual price action will still might fill that gap. And if that were to happen, obviously, think that is an opportunity to buy more. I know I keep saying that, right? That's crazy. Like a crazy lady. But I wouldn't be surprised if, because with the chaos and it's happening in the world, TLT went down in value. Bond market is doing some crazy shenanigans, right? And typically it signal something massive is happening. And with the chaotic of tariffs and tax cuts, and the judge blocking the decision to impose tariffs on on the worlds and all that stuff, and all of that is going to contribute to the chaotic things that is happening. So again, just be careful. I mean, don't be too I guess the extreme mode of like it's always gonna have to go up in price. No. I mean, while that is to be expected, I always leave some room, okay, for the downside as well. I know I'm kind of changing my tune a little bit here. I'm not saying that don't be excited or anything. Do what you want. Of course I am excited about this drop right here because like I said, the similarity is uncanny right here. And what happened after the drop typically, right? And then on top of that, what just happened, we all already know the date for the earnings report to come out. Now just be in the lookout too, right? Understand that they could release the earnings report earlier and then dilute again, right? Which is a good thing. I'm telling you, every time they dilute, right, they sell your the share at a overvalue, quote unquote overvalue. Depends on who you are, probably. And leadership could, typically time it pretty well, on the shares that they were able to sell to the public, right? Now, these are the price in which they were able to sell into the public. With this one is the convertible notes. So this is not an immediate dilution. So I had some, let me see if I could distinguish this from the others. Yeah, so this price right here is not immediate dilution, but we got the immediate $1.5 billion, okay? So as of today, we know that GME have 4,710 Bitcoin, right? If you were to divide the current dilution, the current supply of shares before the conversion of the convertible note, right? We don't have any control over the convertible the conversion yet, right? So all we need to do is to be aware of that. Yes, the people who hold that convertible note could convert into shares at any time, but there is also a condition, right, putting on that where it has to trade over $30 for sorry. Over $30 for 20. Is it $30 or $37? 20 days in the row or something like that. So it's not gonna convert. But my point is that it's not going to convert immediately. Okay. So for now, people have this new metric right now, especially the Bitcoiners out there, right? We just had the conference, Bitcoin conference. So this is encouraging, right? This is a new metric from now on that any publicly traded company is going to be, rated if you are Bitcoiners, right? And you know, when you have this type of popularity already, you know, crypto is here to stay, and Bitcoin is one of them. Obviously, it's the biggest one. So it'd be crazy to think that Bitcoin is somehow is going to be going down to zero. Like I said, this is just my speculation. Obviously, anything could happen, right? People could wake up tomorrow and dump their Bitcoin in a day, right? But just be aware again. This type of indoctrination has been woven into the fabric of society already. That Bitcoin is a part of it. So it's very hard to unlearn what you have learned about Bitcoin already. So when you take the orange pill, right, they say, you typically don't go back to the same way. Now with the Michael Saylor, you know, talking on the conference, hopefully people could see that, and the fact that Brian Cohen is also in the conference as well is going to put, you know, at least GME shareholders and Bitcoin shareholder to be on the same page here. Who knows? Hey, who knows what could happen? Perhaps you know, Bitcoin has been one of this topic where everyone should know about Bitcoin, at least just the knowledge of it, right? And it's not enough to know, of course, but you have to take action too. So when the billionaires out there, right, Larry Fink and all that stuff, is advising his client to put 1 to 2% or even 10% of their portfolio, then, you know, regular people should at least pay attention to that. But here's the thing about human nature. They will not pay attention until it's too late for them already. And that's just part of the 99% mindset. The same way with GB. I'm sure people won't pay attention to it. People will say that GME is crap until the end of time. Until it's glaringly like, oh, it's not that bad. By the time when they say it's not that bad, GME is already hundreds of dollars a share already. By the time, you know, your conventional portfolio advisor tell you to hold GME as a, you know, a good company to have for long term, GME is already $1,000 already. So they're always too late to the game, right? But again, you know, the S&P 500 is coming. You guys, you know, closer than you think. And I know I expect it to be last year, but like I said, you know, people typically overestimate what they could do in a short time frame, and then underestimate what they could do in a longer time frame. So that's why long time duration is the best to go, you guys. Like, just be patient or not. Like, if you think that this is just a waste of time, simple, sell. I'm telling you, it's like the simplest thing that you could do, right? Because again, you're not made for this. You're not made for this, I'm telling you. But anyway, enough about the doom and gloom. Right? Let's talk about the price here. Like I said before, look at this, okay? Come down, immediately going back up. So is that the same fractal? I don't know. But the point is that this could flip into the support. Simple, right? And it just so happened that that support line coincide with the gap. Okay, let me do that. Okay, so this gap right here, I pointed out before, already filled in the free market, but in the regular trading day, it could still be coming down to that, just to solidify it a little bit more, right? Now, what to expect next? Of course, I mean, what else can we expect? If we see a lot of good sentiment coming already about Bitcoin, having Bitcoin confirmed that they do have some Bitcoin. If Bitcoin ever do a better job, okay, I just realized something. Guys, I was just talking anyway, so you don't need to see the screen. But anyway, so with this gap fill right here, why not? This is the pre-market, so it filled pre-market, as I said, right there. And now we're just bouncing, right? Whether this is the bounce or they're gonna come out right here or come down right here and then bounce back, that could also happening too. And the other things too, let me see. This is the date of earnings right there. So what are we doing, right? I mean, so prepare for about like 9, less than 9. Hey, what's up, Dynamite? What's up, what's up? Welcome, welcome. How are we doing today? Very slow morning. I notice, very slow morning. But it's okay. It's my first day, coming back. So I'm happy. I'm a bit rusty too, so I've been seeing you live as well. So just so you know. But yeah, I mean, not much, you guys. Like I said, the fact that they have Bitcoin right now, confirmation, and fact that the price coming down because of that confirmation. If this scares you, you don't know how this, either institutions or anyone who wants to, get as many shares as possible at the lowest price as possible, this is the tactic that they do. They do that time and time again. What happened over here? The same exact thing. Right? Scare a whole bunch of people out, especially the call option holder. I'm telling you, they do this type of thing to steal money from the call option holder. Okay. Thank goodness I did not have some call there. I did sell, for a little bit of profit, not much, because I was like, I'm pretty antsy with my call option. And I only had 2 at the time. I was like, yeah, let me just, take some profit here. Not shares like the amount of shares that I have. I already accumulated that. And so if you have call option, if you diamond hand call option, no. And this is the reason why. Right? Because price doesn't make any sense. Good news doesn't move the price. Bad news doesn't move the price. It's to fake you out. That's it. To fake the, traders. Not only call option trader, also the regular trader as well. So, and max pain, right? Like if you look at max pain is probably around $30. That's the reason why. I mean, imagine if the price were up here, what happened? The market maker would have to be forced to go to, get the shares, right? But that's why call option, when you buy call options and all that stuff, it's not that easy to just like make a gazillion dollars unless you're Ron Kitty, right? Even Ron Kitty admit that sometimes he's right. Yeah, he's wrong too. So he's very patient in well, we don't know if he's still here or not. It's hard to believe that he's not, right? Let's see. I mean, today might be the day. We're all waiting for that YOLO call option. I mean, YOLO update. But I'm sure he's only waiting for the right moment to buy, a large sum of call option here. But even then, market maker also will always have tools and connections and all that stuff to kind of smother, the progress of whoever wants to spike the price, I'm telling you, whatever mechanism that Roaring Kitty notice in the market, like some sort of, structural issue when it comes to, calls and swaps and all that stuff. So that's above my pay grade. All I'm just focusing about is if you hold it for a long time, you do much, much better. Long-term shareholders always win. I'm telling you, guarantee. That's a guarantee statement, you know. Anyway, let me read They did not tell us what's the average price they bought. Why? I don't know. Strategy, you know. I mean, I could speculate. Anthony, welcome. I could speculate. My speculation is that they don't want to telegraph anything in advance. Okay. I mean, it could be good and bad. Depends on who you are. If you are the type of an investor who wants all that detail, then this is bad for you, right? Then the best case scenario is for you not to be in the company. But if you're the type of people who there must be a reason for Ryan Cohen or leadership doesn't tell the public how much they got it for. Just again, that mysterious, that unpredictability nature of things kind of entice people to draw into the stock. So that's along the line of what I'm thinking too. And on top of that, it won't give these bad actors who are trying to undermine the company's ability to issue something, right? Undermine the progress that they're trying to make for the shareholder here, because they could attack it, right? Let's say they post a price, right? Let's say they just bought it that day, which is impossible because within that interview we kind of could imply that they bought it when they said they bought it. Close to April or May, before May, sorry. Before they announced. So it's safe to say that they bought sometime around April, okay, based on that. But again, you have to, listen to the interview pretty intently and draw some conclusion here. And if they post a price, let's say $80,000, right? This large institution could cause some sort of chaos to because they have the ability to. Okay, now the chaos that they could cause is only for temporarily. Okay, coming down to $70,000. So just to scare more people out of the trade, and since they have more money that they could know what to do with, they could try to cause that chaos to shake you out of your position if you're not convicted. But from what I know about Bitcoiners, GMEers, even, both are the same. Very, very knowledgeable about what they hold. And so if the price comes down, what happened? People will buy more, right? Yes, we will wait. I mean, how long do you think Bitcoiners has learned, and how many times Bitcoiner has learned that every time it comes down, what happened? It's inevitably going back up because it's designed to do so. Okay? The price is designed to do so because, why is it 4? To do so because it's a fixed supply nature. And the fact that Ryan Cohen understands that, knows that, just a hedge, and he explained it pretty perfectly. And there's no mystery around that. He told you what he thinks, and that it's a hedge, that if the thesis is correct, that it's going to take over the capitalization of gold one day, which he seems to think as well, then the upside is going to be asymmetrical. Okay, so take that as face value. That's what he feels, and like he said, nobody could predict the future of how high the price or how low the price is. But if that's continued to be the thesis, and it seems like it, that younger, older, doesn't matter who you are, now began to have that thesis, then inevitably, as time goes on, as more and more people agree with you, depends, right? Sometime, you get 100 million people to agree with you in one day, if you're lucky. If not, then you have to spend so much time, like, either Michael Saylor, go out press after press after press to try to convince people about that. And again, that could appear to people as a desperation of some sort. But if you understand where Bitcoin is going to be, then this is in my opinion, a service, like a public service announcement type thing. Take it or leave it, that's on you. Bitcoin will do whatever Bitcoin will do. Same thing with GME. But GME will do what GME will do, as Ryan Cohen, stated in that interview. GME has our own strategy. Right? We're following our own beat to a drum. Our own beats here. Michael Saylor has his own beat, right? First mover advantage for sure. And whether you agree with his line of thinking or not, he's going to continue to do what is best for his shareholder, But again, depends on who you are. You might think that he's just diluting common shareholder to get as many Bitcoin as possible. But if that's all he's doing, then you consistently know where that money will go. Every time you give it to MicroStrategy, every time Michael Saylor dilute the common shareholder, you know where that money will go, right? So that's his strategy, is that, because again, he has so much conviction on Bitcoin, and that's why he does what he does. That's why, think about how many successful people in the world diversify. None. I know people are like telling you to diversify because it's safe, because you might not know what you hold and all that stuff, which I agree. Yes, to some degrees, you have to understand that you may pick the wrong one, right? And then you lose a whole bunch of money. But then the mistake that people make is that, yes, that inevitably could happen, but you keep going. Right? People just stop in the middle thinking that, because you picked the wrong one, wrong vehicle, wrong decision on the stock market, or a security, they just stop. They're like, I lose so much money. The market is not for me. In which case, that's the biggest mistake, because, like I said, the stock market is the only way to build that wealth. Or, I listened to MicroStrategy's speech about the 21 way of wealth or something like that. It's on YouTube. You could search it. In that, he mentioned how you have to be so convicted in one thing, highly concentrated to be wealthy. Or to grow that generational wealth. But yeah, with that, you have to take some risk for sure, much more than the regular people. And think about how many people are convicted with GME, and look how Rowan Kitty has concentrated his wealth in GME at one point. Now, we don't know whether he's still in it or not. Remain to be seen. But yeah. Hey, what's up? Stay happy. Yeah, long time. I know I went on vacation, so I did some video along the way. But yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Michael, what's up? What's up? Anyway, back to Bitcoin price. Why is he not telling you Bitcoin price? Well, again, so that people cannot attack, could not attack the asset of the company who have the ability to attack the asset of the company. So they could dump temporarily just to scare more people out, so that they could run the article, bombarding general public how terrible GME is, right? So that they could do that, look at this price action. It makes no sense, you guys. Like, this. Anybody knows this. And also to scare new people coming in, right? Who doesn't even know anything about GME. Bitcoiners probably thought, okay, but a massive amount of people probably thought that, yeah, if GME were to announce Bitcoin purchases, right, they just go and rush buy call option, right? And so what happened? Market makers saw that. They're like, no, we cannot cover this. So boom, right? Don't be fooled to think that they can't do that. Of course, they manipulate the price down all the time. Okay, they have the tool for it. It's automatic. It's algorithm. And so if you think, that you could, like, if the majority think that it's going to go up, the price will coming down. It's just how it's programmed to be. Okay. And so when you bet up and down like this, you will feel that burn for sure. For sure. Anyway, let me take a sip of coffee. I know I'm babbling too much. How are we doing in the chat over here? Very quiet though. Very quiet. I know it's Sunday. It's the weekend. A bit kind of cloudy over here in California. So, but it's still in the morning though, like 9 o'clock. Yeah, people probably still waking up yet. Okay, you guys got the excuse. It's okay. It's okay. You could fall asleep while I'm talking to you about GME and Bitcoin. Okay, so let me just hold on, you guys. Let me, rather than I'm talking about I think Michael Saylor probably do justice for this type of points that I'm trying to make. Hold on, you guys. I think this is a good clip here.
That's right.
Okay, hold on a second. Going to be 65 and sunny Boston today. Oh, cool. No complaint. All right, all right. 65 is a bit cold for me in California. I feel like I'm spoiled here. But I grew up in a warmer climate, so forgive me for that. But yeah, I mean, for some people, goodness gracious, Look at this. Okay, sorry, I'm commercial, right? Like these commercial, really. I love to hear you babble about the greatest investment opportunity. Of course. But
Check out on the
with that power, right, come great responsibility, and so you have to like talk about the downside of it as well. The downside of it, all it is, it's just waiting. Time. It's all about time, you guys. And when people are telling you, oh, it's never going to happen, it will in its own time. Okay. Yes, if the market is fair, everything is traded based on a equal level playing field, the price will go up like since the end of time. Like, 2-3 years ago, it would have went up, and whoever bet against it would have gone bankrupt, liquidate, and then, the world would moved on with their lives, right? But with this type of investment, it's because so many institutions are against it, right? And there's so much money to make by manipulating the price, enticing people to buy call, buy puts, on both sides here, right? Because again, they want you to short the wrong time to long the wrong time so that they could collect the premium for you. This type of thing is going to happen in this stock, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean that the company cannot take advantage of that. Okay. And so that's where Ryan Cohen comes in diluting the best, when you said when you hear about smart dilution, this is what smart dilution is like. Is that over time, if you do it correctly, what happened? Shareholder will win out. Shareholder will have more and more asset. Look how much money we have been accumulating for shareholder, long-term shareholder so far. Okay, $5 billion, really? And people are just like, no. What company could raise $5 billion in a year at this level, right? People forget how small Jimmy was and still is, right? In terms of, footprints, as if like, publicly traded company that announced that they buy Bitcoin. No other one. Right? No other one that has been going through so many, shitty articles. And I could see a little shift already. Oh, right. Actually, hold on, let me see. There was a segment that I saw. Before I forget. You know what? Did I save it? Yeah. It was a news channel, Charles Schwab or something. And she was like, a little bit more positive on Jimmy. Might take me some time to find it. You know what? Actually, why not just search for it? Crazy. Network. Yeah, they have it. What the heck? That's the wrong one. This one right here. Okay.
We'll get that answer one day, Jenny. I really do wonder the answer to that. So hopefully we can get it back. But, we talk all the time about the NVIDIAs and the Teslas. But GameStop was unique because it was that trade that seemed to not have the institutional backing. It was primarily, this.
You see the narrative right now? I want you to really think about this. Like, for years, what happened? GameStop is terrible. Look at that. Da, 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 da. I could see the shift in narrative. You know why? Because they already been accumulating shares of Jimmy, real shares here, okay? And they're slowly like indoctrinating people to slowly thinking about, Jimmy in a better light, okay? And it's coming. I know with this tone here, it's just a little bit more positive. Still, they're gonna find something a little bit negative about that. But all I'm saying is that they slowly shift that narrative. And mark my word, in a couple of years, they're gonna be like, yeah, GameStop is actually a good company. I'm telling you. They should have said this a year ago, 2 years ago, right? This narrative, right? I'm telling you. The run is coming. It just, again, they need to accumulate more shares. Who's they? Institution. Who's they? people that owns this type of network. Okay? And why are they doing this? To get as much share as possible from retail. To get as much share as possible at the lowest price as possible, because they want to buy hundreds of millions of shares here. Okay? In the next 10 years. Oh, you think it's not going to happen? Maybe not even the next 10 years. They want it now. A couple years. You know why? Because Bitcoin is on their balance sheets now. There is a sense of urgency now. Okay? Because if they don't do it now, 10 years later, they might not even exist as an institution. You know why? Because 10 years later, where do you think Bitcoin's going to be? If Ryan Cohen is right about the thesis and, agreeing with, Bitcoin thesis, that in 10 years, Bitcoin can exceed the capitalization of gold, which is, $22 trillion, right? Then it's 10x from here. So the trend is going there. Where are you going? So that's why they're slowly giving you that. I'm telling you, let's listen. I don't know if you guys have listened to this before, but yeah, it's only 6 minutes. Let's see. Let me just a little bit faster.
We might have lost Jeff again, which maybe we'll get that answer one day, Jenny. I really do wonder the answer to that, so hopefully we can get him back. But, we talk all the time about the NVIDIAs and the Teslas, but GameStop was unique because it was that trade that seemed to not have the institutional backing. It was primarily, this subset of active retail traders, and it made it so unique, but also so interesting. But it hasn't performed the same way over the last few years. So I do wonder if it still gets the same amount of attention. I know you check out things like Reddit and some of those areas. Does it still get talked about a lot?
It does, but
see, they're steering people to Reddit, right? We all know Reddit is already, been infiltrated by these institutions, and so they want your other retailer who's not aware of what's happening in the company, to go in and kind of like look at those message board, right? And the message board is to kind of misdirect, people elsewhere. Like, oh, this other play, right? It happens all the time too. So understand where, why the price is the way it is, and frustrating the way that it is to maximize their profit and minimize your gain. Okay? Or even worse, try to take your money because you've been so antsy, you've been so impatient, right? Because anytime you see the price goes down, you're like, oh, why is that happening? Instead of saying, hey, this is an opportunity to buy it at a cheaper price, right? So, I'm telling you, psychology, right? If you reverse the psychology, look at this similarity. I'm sure it's going to do this bouncy thing. Okay, hold on, let me see. I know I keep stopping the video. What's wrong with me? Like that. And then, oh, it's coming down. Boom. Right before you know it. It's like, okay, good luck. Goodbye. See you later. Type thing. But anyway, look at this. Where is it bounce off of? It used to be 20, right? Okay. Good luck. You might be able to get 20 again. Who knows? But you may not. So, I think the new floor is 28. My opinion. Could be wrong. So, how amazing could it be if it comes down to 20 again? Now they have Bitcoin. You think the Bitcoiner is not going to go crazy? Well, if Bitcoin goes down, right? The price is going to go down too. But that doesn't matter. It's still the same. Okay, let's continue.
the loyal enthusiasts. I mean, there's still, and I've always supported the way it was like the street didn't necessarily give the proper value to the fact that there was like a mass retail trader that was, I mean, moving the stock without this mass institutional interest. And I always, you know, we talk about things like Roaring Kitty and why do we give so much credit to like an analyst, but not someone that's making these huge purchases. It's just somewhat of the way things fall sometimes. But I do still see the Wall Street Bets thread from time to time. It's still definitely still active. I will say short interest in this name has come down considerably from, I mean, like meme stock peak, but
at some point they were able to turn those kind of memeing moves into real dollars, right? Like if your stock goes up and you can issue more equity, you can turn that into cash. And so the fact that it's been able to maintain its price at elevated levels from where it had been, it's not like AMC that totally retraced and then lost a bunch of its value. Yeah, GameStop's off its peak, but for the most part, it's actually done, you know, pretty decently.
You see the narrative here, right? This narrative should have been a year ago. I'm telling you, right? When they're issuing shares and all that stuff. This network, they were, you know, bashing how, you know, all they're doing is just selling shares, right? Raising equity, dumping on retail shareholder, diluting, and all that stuff as if it's so negative. And now you see the narrative has been shifted. So it's going to continue, telling you, it's going to continue, and it's going to be amazing at that point where, you know, by the time people agree with you, you're already there, you know. All you have to do is just wait for that, you know, acknowledgement. And meanwhile, while less and less people agree with your thesis, take that as an opportunity, right? You have the opportunity to buy it at a lower price. When people don't look at those, what happened? It tends to go the other way. If the thesis is correct, right? And if you're convicted with that thesis, that's why conviction plays in so much more than just, you know, buy here and sell here, right? So, and I'm not knocking on traders either. Yes, yeah, I'm trying to be, you know, not a trader, but like some portion of my portfolio are trying to beat the market by trading and all that stuff too. But the majority of my holdings are long term, right? So it's just something that I do, you know, to keep myself interested in the market. Because otherwise, like, you know, it's boring to just buy and buy and hold and all that stuff, and not really learning about the you know, price action calls and all that stuff. So, but at the same time, I also know that it's risky too. I'm not good at it. That's why I don't do it. I discourage people who just got into the market thinking that call option is the answer. No, you have to learn. You have to understand why I like IV and all that stuff. It's a lot, you know. It's not as easy as you know, Roaring Kitty make it out to be, okay? Or the news making Roaring Kitty's story out to be. So, anyway. Hey, what's up, Casper? Hey, because I can. What's up? Okay. It's like Wall Street is mad about GME, but Bitcoin made off interest instead of cash. Of course, right? Like, you know, other company was just no name company, right? Announced they buy Bitcoin and then they went up like 400%. And we all know why, because they own more of those things, so they pump those things up. Anything that is used as a collateral for them, you know, it's allowed to be, you know, moving in that manner. Meanwhile, something that they short so long and so aggressively, it's not allowed to go up in that sense. But yes, coming down, it's skewed, you know, for put option buyers to win out, you know, like skewed toward that. But again, the pricing of option will determine the movement of the stock. And yeah, and it's, we know that it's been muted, the price action. So depends on whether, you know, the Wall Street sentiment is, right? But eventually, again, the public will win out. I mean, look at Bitcoin, same way, right? It's used to be a grassroots movement. Kind of small amount of people really adopt the idea, and now it's to this scale for a reason. So, but it's a solution to what is happening right now with the debt ceiling going up and up, the debt, crisis. So yeah, it's chaotic for sure, but the fact that Bitcoin is still standing and become center stage, you better pay attention. I'm not saying just Bitcoin, obviously XRP and all that stuff. Still, like crypto as an industry is here to stay. And it's useful. It's useful for something. You will find out 5-10 years from now, you'll be using it without knowing it. So, yeah. By then, Jimmy's gonna be, using that technology too. Who knows, right? Or even sell that technology to people, well, to other company. Well, I mean, we could evolve to that, right? We're already a holding company, so, guys, within 4 years, leadership was able to make it profitable in that sense. I know people are like, it's so slow. Look at the world around you. You think that consumer is happily spending money, or they're just hoarding money right now because they couldn't afford to live? Lots of layoffs, okay? Still happening. Microsoft just lay off 6,000 people. Okay? I mean, when you hear stuff like that, do you think that people just have so much money to spend? I'm telling you, unfortunately, we're in the category of the discretionary spending category, right? That, the rest of the world, unless you are diehard, gaming fan or Pokemon card fan, you don't typically just spend money on Pokemon, right? For your kids. Unless they know that, okay, Pokemon could really be a source of income for them by, gambling on, finding the best one and then sell it for hundreds of thousands of dollars a card. Who knows, right? That could be a cultural phenomenon one day, but not at this time, you guys. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, just wait, be patient. The company's not going to go anywhere, okay? Even if we're going to make only, $100 million a year, when I say only, that's a lot of money. $100 million a year is a lot of money, okay? And so, especially if we're going to accumulate Bitcoin, a portion of that, I'm sure, will go to Bitcoin from now on. Maybe that's what Brian Cohen is trying to do, is 10% of the company's network will go towards Bitcoin, which is very conservative, as I expected. Remember, I wanted him to kind of go all in at one and then just sell, at $100 or $400,000. Sell the majority, leave some, yes. And make like $60 billion from that trade. But it seems like he's focusing on the business side as well as, hedging at least companies' balance sheets with the Bitcoin purchases. So the speculation is, I'm sure that he's going to add more because this is only 500 million. When? I don't know. That's remained to be seen. But yeah, so let's finish this video. I'm sorry, I keep stopping.
In terms of its performance, when you look at its average moves around earnings, 10% or so, it's not like it's doing anything out of the ordinary one way or another recently. So when you're looking at this name, you do have earnings to worry about. It's next week, I believe, sometime. You got this new Bitcoin story, so now you got Bitcoin to factor in. But I look at the performance, it's like it goes into slumbers and then it wakes up. Like it was very, very quiet for much of April and May, and then suddenly on the 22nd of May, which would have been earlier, actually late last week, it's like it's had 3 consecutive huge moves and then one big down move now. So fun one to watch, but again, not the highest on my watch list, I would say.
No, and I will say that this news is interesting. It does also illustrate the fact that GameStop is trying to become one of these Bitcoin holding type companies, and by no means right now is it even close to a name like MicroStrategy or Strategy, whatever you want to call it. But
they're comparing to the biggest holder of Bitcoin. Like no way compared to these companies. So still, right, a negative connotation. It's like, don't touch it because that's not the biggest one. Go buy MicroStrategy. That's how I read it from it. When you should be buying companies like this that are just, starting. But anyway, so that's another point.
It is still trying to leverage itself as a play into Bitcoin, which to me is a smart move. I mean, we've seen, again, continued interest in this name, but also it tells me that you have a failing traditional business model, which, I mean, like at legacy GameStop stores, you just hardly even see them anymore. So that to me is a fundamental, unfortunately, snag in the entire narrative. I mean, I applaud them for making a smart move. I mean, you look at this chart of Strategy, it's been very successful, but they're nowhere near that level yet. This is just the entry.
Yeah, and this is a tough space, right? Like this is one that was so disrupted by just technology improving, right? Like you used to have to go to the store to buy the new game because that was, you needed the cartridge or you needed the disc to put into the console. Then now that you can just buy it directly onto the console or rent them or whatever it may be just from the couch, really, I mean, it's the same story as Blockbuster, right? There used to be a need to go to rent the movie. Well, then you could eventually do it at home and you cut them out. Now, GameStop's trying to do things like we've talked about with the Rokus and the Salesforces and the other names to try to remain, an ongoing business and company. And in many ways, it's doing okay with that, considering it has adjusted EPS that's positive now, adjusted net income that's positive now. But the revenue declining tremendously quarter after quarter goes to show that, it's a story that needs to find some sort of off ramp at some point. Maybe that's Bitcoin.
Do you notice something there? Did they mention anything about Pokemon cards? And the fact that this guy, when did it happen? Is this before or after Ryan Cohen speak in the conference? Let me give this guy the benefit of the doubt. But how do you cover GameStop without knowing that they are pivoting heavily into trading card? And it's just failing to mention that as a new channel. It's like, you see, like, are they unaware or they're just told not to say anything about the good part, right? And then just focus on the fact that the, physical media and all that stuff, physical game, used game, declining in sale and all that stuff. So again, my point is there's still a negative connotation to that with this coverage. But this hints of, positivity there because of Bitcoin, obviously. Anyway.
Fine.
Yeah, because unfortunately, I do tend to feel nostalgic of like the GameStops, the Blockbusters, like the Radio Shacks. But I'm also not probably the target demographic, but I don't remember the last time I even saw a GameStop store. But also living in an urban area is a bit different. But yeah, I believe earnings June 6th, according to the platform here of the first quarter report. So that's coming up on the near term. But as
Okay, June 6th. We already know it's going to be June 10th. So just a clarification there.
we look at GameStop, and I mean, for example purposes, when you trade this name, well, there is, I mean, like a huge risk, just again, because I tend to focus on the fundamental story. There's always heavy interest in this name for trading, and that's always why it grabs my attention. Like today, outsized volume once again.
Well, the nice thing that some option strategies can afford a trader who decides to use them is you can create a risk profile, theoretically, that is what it is, right? And so in this case, what we're looking at is a $1.50 wide short put vertical in which you collect 50 cents. Like the risk parameters and the reward potential are.
You see how they're like promoting option rather than buying shares? There you go. There's a reason. There's a reason for everything, you guys. Like I tell you, when they promote stuff like this on, on these type of financial shows, misdirection, or this is actually they want you to trade GME, is through option rather than straight up shares. why straight up shares is so problematic for them. It's because anytime, people buys, people don't sell, typically. So, and they would much rather you trade than, than holding it for long term and then waiting for the result later, because they know long term shareholder will win out in the end. So as long as you're trading, they make money off of the trading part. They don't care. They don't care whether it's up or down. Like I'm talking about the institutional level here. They skim off the top of every trade anyway. So the more you trade, the more money they make. Okay, so that's the whole incentive format.
Or you can lose $100 and you can make $50. And so if GameStop goes to 0, that doesn't change. If GameStop goes to 100, that doesn't change. And so I'm not saying that makes these strategies good or bad, but it does change the situation a little bit, where if you bought, let's say 100 shares of GameStop for $30, that's essentially $3,000 that's at risk if GameStop were to go to 0. Not saying it's going to 0.
You see the risk to reward over here? So they want you to risk $100 to make $50. That's backward, right? Like what? How is this making sense? But again, just maybe I read this wrong. So yeah, they want you to do a vertical. What vertical? I have no idea about this terminology, you guys. I guess it's a strategy. It's a good strategy to have. Nah, I'm telling you, you probably will lose money if you follow them.
0. But also, if GameStop were to go to 100, that's $7,000 in potential profit. And so you understand why investors buy shares and want to allocate that capital, but it also costs a little bit more capital to get those positions. So this allows you to have some skin in the game, a trade on, but do so with risk parameters that you set, and for reward potential that you'd be comfortable with. And it actually increases the probability of success just a little bit, because GameStop can fall $4 and it can still be max profit. It can fall $5 and you're at break even, which is over 10% of the share price.
Yeah, and I think a good way to look at, a heavily, let's say, traded but still risky name, and of course be aware of that risk. But we will leave it there for all things GameStop today, which actually has eased back from some of its losses on the session, even as we continue to watch things.
See? So now they're encouraging you to trade, not buy. Option. But yeah, that was fun to watch. But my point in showing you that is, I could see a slight hint of positivity coming. So as time goes on, just watch these type of people. Now, she was the one a couple months ago, even earlier on, when we were trading around $17 or so. I remember her saying, you better sell now or you're never gonna be, I think over here, around here somewhere. Right here. She did a coverage. You better sell now or you're never gonna get your money back, or something like that. Around 17. So or this level here. And then it comes down and then immediately back up. So I did a video on that too, so if you want to kind of go back to search, but don't waste your time. Just take my word for it, okay? And you could verify it later if you want to. All right, because I can. $28 is the new 24. Yeah, agree. Hi, and lows. Hey, Einstein, what's up? Good afternoon. Oh, okay, where are you? Good afternoon already. Is it possible that Jimmy bought in April? And is that too much speculation? Not too much of a speculation. They want you to speculate for sure, because they don't tell you the price and when they bought it. I assume that they bought it when they told immediately when they raised the money, so sometime in April would be amazing price to have. Be crazy not to. because typically I think leadership has been pretty consistent in, you know, um, no, I shouldn't say that because I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty because of, the nature of Ryan Cohen, which is consistent. We've been, his like leadership has been consistent in not telling people what to do or what they're doing. So I think again, it's fuel speculation for sure, right? And this is where volatility comes from. Is this agreement between traders, between institution, because some institutions like, hey, I like what Ryan Cohen is doing with Bitcoin, right? And then some institution is like, nah, Bitcoin is terrible, right? And so these battles is always going to be fought, and whoever gonna win, it's only time will tell, right? Same way with the fundamental of the company. Now, some people could swear that this company is a piece of shit, right? And then the other institutions are like, yeah, there might be something here, or at least some sort of saving grace. Okay. But yeah, again, a handful of people would only be the winner here. So you better be on the wrong side and the right side of history. But yeah, not too much. I mean, for sure, leadership want people to speculate. That's why they don't tell you the price and when they bought it. But if they bought around, April, that would be amazing. Amazing. Okay. What am I doing? Yeah, let's look at the price real quick. Oh. Oh. It's 105 already. Okay, all right, cool. But yeah, I mean, when is it April? When? Is this April? Sorry. So, my thought. No, that's not April. Crazy. Around here. Okay. Here. So let's say end of April would be 90,000 or so. Okay. So let's mark that level just to see the highest to lowest. Okay. There we go. I mean, pretty price point to me, right? So if we could speculate that they are buying during the time in which they tell us when they raised the money, it was April 1st, right? So yeah, this is when they raised the money, and then they bought somewhere in between this. But again, it's all speculation because they don't tell you, of course. Speculation fuel disagreement within the trader, and that creates volatility too. Okay, so that's what people don't realize, is that volatility is everything for this institution, is that they want to create that. And Ryan Cohen is pretty smart himself. Now adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet as well, they want volatility. Volatility is good for long-term shareholder as well. Well, depends, right? If you buy at a high, obviously, YOLOing at the high, like, it depends on what price point. But for us, who have been accumulating at every level, typically you would win out because, again, traders will disagree on the price, and then eventually, it's just going to trade up and up. Depends on the sentiments and, on the Bitcoin and all that stuff. So, like I said, okay, let me show you. I think I showed you this model before. About Bitcoin, when is the best time to buy, all of that good stuff. Okay, so this chart again, I've shown it before, where fair value is over here. Okay, based on stock to flow over a year time frame. Okay, so we are way below there, and historically the best time to buy, to add, or to hold Bitcoin is when price are below stock to flow. Okay, and see, like even here, it doesn't like to stay below that level. What happened when it stayed below that level for an extended period of time? It snap back up pretty quickly. Now, when I say quickly, this is a time frame of 2 years. Okay, from here to here, it's 2 years. Okay, so I know 2 years seems like eternity for some people, but it's not that. It's not that traumatic, you guys. Okay, so if you have to wait 1 more year, do you think it's the end of the world? No. Like now you have 1 more year to accumulate more. Okay, goodness, I don't know why I have to say this over and over again for people to understand. But sometimes, I mean, people need. Oh, what happened? No. Okay. Jeez. What just happened? I don't know. Anyway, so okay, I determined both of them are short seller. Okay. Sure. Who's the short seller here? I agree about the positive and yeah, for sure. I mean, eventually Yahoo Finance will talk positive about Jimmy. I'm sure. Maybe 2 more years. Then they'll let you know Jimmy was a buy 10 years ago. Do you have issue with the quality? Quantity they bought. Okay. Do I have issue? Not really. I mean, I'm okay. So understanding how conservative Ryan Cohen has been, this is along the line of what I think might happen, right? Am I disappointed? I mean, a little bit, because I wanted them to be, $1.5 billion at the very least. But even then, that's a lot more percentage of the asset, right? And doing it this way, the safest way, right? Because then you could always average down just in case something happens, right? Where the price sharply coming down due to liquidation or whatever it may be. So for sure, this is very conservative, but 10% is a lot for any company to make that decision, to make that leap, okay? And so this is to be expected for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't say like I don't have issue with that at all. Many seems to complain. I know. People always complain about shit, because they do, because they wanted $100 today, tomorrow, or yesterday, or 10 days ago. You see what I mean? So what they don't realize is that it's all around the corner. I'm telling you, when you least expect it, the minute you think that it's not going to happen, what happened? It's going to happen. Okay? So, I mean, look at this, guys. Come on. What? In 2 days? From 28 to 37, right? Well, again, market and then they just smack it back down. And so with that, right, how high was that? See, 31%, and people still complaining like, never going to happen. And guess what? Just just when you think it's over, right? Just when they entice you to short over here, oh, you better short. Look, if it breaks this resistance, right? If it breaks this resistance, you are done for. So what do? They will fake people out here and then wig back up. That's just my expectation. Okay, don't trade based on this. Okay. And they do this time and time and time again. I'm telling you, even if it's a good earnings, right? Like people are gonna be like, oh, earnings gonna be crap. But what if this time we beat the top line revenue? Have anyone thought about that? What if this time we're gonna be able to beat this? All right, so now we have Bitcoin. Now we have, top line revenue capitulating to the other side. Okay. We know that they're closing down stores, from France and, Canada. So they already sold the Canadian branch, right? And so now France, and knowing what's happening in France right now, where people are looting, people are protesting, and they typically protest quite a bit. So perhaps the leadership understood that, like the chaotic, the chaos all around the world. Making business over there is not going to be profitable. So yeah, we're gonna close those ones too, I'm sure. So this, I don't know if it's gonna be on this balance sheet, so just be on the lookout for that. They may still have to decrease that top line revenue. So yeah, that might be one more narrative to say that top line revenue is terrible, but then for sure we're gonna beat the earnings per share. I mean, come on, 8 cents. Well, okay, so this is quarter 4, 3, 2, 1. This one right here. So last time we reported at 12 cents back then, a year ago. Okay. Yes, we missed. We missed by 9 cents. That's what they're saying. So we reported. Okay, what is the estimate? No, we missed by 3 cents. Sorry. So, but we were reported negative 12 cents back then, 1 year ago. So this year, I'm sure we will be able to come at a positive. For sure. How sure am I? 89%, 89%. I mean, there's always a scope, right? Positive earnings for sure. Not sure if we're gonna be beating it, but I have a strong feeling that we could beat 8 cents per share. Let's see. The accounting for Bitcoin too is also going to be tricky. I saw a video, some guy, I think it's one of those traders in the early on trading GME covering it. Also Outcrop guy. But he explained the way that GME or institution has to account when they have Bitcoin onto their balance sheet. So be on the lookout for that. I'm not quite sure how they're going to account for that, whether it's going to be a liability or asset. So that might be a shock for people as well to see the differences of accounting. both upside to downside. I mean, that could happen either way. Now, whether this earnings report will have that clarity that people will ask for, because right, it's by law they have to at least tell you when they bought and what price they bought it at. So you will find out during the earnings report, and this is why the release doesn't have it. It's because they know that they will report it eventually. So it's just an added, negativity for people to pick and choose. Oh, they bought too little. Oh, they bought, and they don't even tell you what the price. Oh, whatever the negativity is, to stew in for that moment. And so just the minute you think that it's going to come down, it's going to skyrocket back up. Because again, the value is there, you guys. To say that this company has no value, it's stupid at this point. Like, you can't deny that Gmail has some value here, okay? Look at the balance sheets. How many billions, how many Bitcoins do they have already? So that's going to come to play for sure. Okay, and the higher the Bitcoin goes, and it seems like we are in that, where I think I did kind of cover how the Fibonacci, right, kind of to be expected, that 103. Hold on, which video? I think I made a video on that one, so let me go back. My chair. Let's see if I could find it. Okay. This is, I think this is the one. Might be the other one. Okay, hold on. This one I try to find that mention. No. Okay. Go back. Okay, I'm trying to find the one that I talked about, that Fibonacci. Might not be this one either. Alright guys, I'm back with another video. So it's sorry. Okay. That one. You guys, what the heck? Maybe it didn't record? I could have sworn. Okay, let me play this video. Let's go to one day, maybe. There you go, like breaking, just barely breaking, right? And we are trading right at that level right there. But if you see that little wig right there, boom, right? That's the all-time high. So if this breaks any time, which I feel like it's strong enough to do, right, based on the global money supply, and a lot of that is being speculated as well. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Okay, for Bitcoin, how high? I think the initial impulse is people expecting 100,020. Oh my god, hold on, let me see if I could find. No, I think it is a couple days later, when it pulled back. Little pullback. All right, market for is to see, the convertible note people can, anything under 60, it's a fair game to me, right? Okay. A longer time span. Okay, not that one. What am I I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to find out is, did I post that video even? I might not. Okay. That might be the other reason. But anyway, in that video, I pointed out this level right here. The first, I guess, retracement, right? And if it bounced off of here, that's pretty encouraging. And the next level would be up here somewhere. 30, 130s, 135. So yeah, if it's bullish enough, right? People exposed to Bitcoin, now they understand what Bitcoin is. They want to buy, but be on the lookout for this level as well, where it bounces off right there. Okay, so if Brian Cohen bought right there, right around here, sometime in May, early May, okay, because he needs that confirmation to, get in, or bought in just recently, the all-time high. But that's crazy to think too, right? Because why would he announce at an all-time high, or at least close to the all-time high, to give that impression that GME just bought in? That's why there's no price yet, because they bought in earlier already. But just to create that negative sentiment, right? So maybe, Ryan Cohen's pretty conniving and trapping a lot more shorts. Yeah, who knows, right? There's conspiracy, a lot of tinfoil. Guys, it's always fun for me to speculate, right? Like, I know people could get frustrated with me as well, to say that. People closer to me did get some, negative connotation when I say stuff like that, right? About the company, of course. So I don't want to speculate too much, but it's always fun for me to speculate. Right or wrong, that's remain to be seen. But I really think that we bought around April, end of April. So in which case the highest was 90,000. My crystal ball say next year. Okay, cool. Can you feel it? Of course. Always, like, Bitcoin's gonna go higher. I don't know what time frame. I don't know what price. For sure, it's gonna go higher. Brian Cohen, don't buy it. Okay, that's also another speculation too, right? But like I said, I feel like they will announce it at the earnings report, and so all you have to wait, just wait. All you have to do is just wait another, 9 days. So we're all gonna find out what it is. We're all gonna find out then, whether it's gonna shock the world to the downside or it's gonna shock the world to the upside. But either way, though. Either way, even if it comes down, the price comes down based on the earnings, whether it's bad, good, or whatever. Just be on the lookout for, tame your expectation. If the price comes down, you buy more based on, the assets, the balance sheets and all that stuff. And inevitably, the price will catch up to the fundamental of things. Stock does not stay down forever. Stock doesn't stay up forever either. Right? So just be neutral. And if it happens, it will happen in due time. And if institutions are stampeding to buy into GME, to buy into Bitcoin, to buy into whatever, both of them will do well, for sure. Right? And with all this popularity, now Charles Schwab is talking about how positive it is, right? That GME went into Bitcoin or the fact that they cover it in this manner rather than, pointing out that it's going to go bankrupt, it's gonna, you're not gonna get your money back and all that stuff. That narrative is gone. So now you have a narrative of like, oh, okay, yeah, I could see something. And then by the time they're like, oh yeah, GME is a good blue chip company, you win. But it might take you a long time to win out. All right. Ooh, 11 people? Wow. Sorry, you guys have to sit through all that. I feel, very, very encouraging to me to see this stock to flow, trading below stock to flow here. And then the other one is the rainbow one, right? Rainbow chart right here. Also, it indicates that the price that is trading currently is at a green band, okay? And after the halvening, it's enter into the blue zone and then the green zone. What does that mean? It means that we're still too early, okay? We're still here. So halvening is the line, the vertical line. So after the halvening, it entered the blue zone, green zone, then yellow, orange, and then red. Okay. Wow, this one the same way, right? Halvening, blue zone. Okay. See, halvening, blue zone, green zone, and then boom. So with this one here, wait, can I? Well, there you go. Same. Happening, blue zone, green zone. Now we're gonna go into the yellow zone. Is it guaranteed? It seems like it is, okay? Like, again, based on the historical price action here. I don't make this chart up. There's a lot of people who track that too. So is it to be expected? Yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna take to go to that level. But it could be, the uptrend could still be there. So yeah, I'm telling you, the future is bright for everyone involved. So if you're into crypto, if you're also into GME, it's one of the best time to be in these type of investment because not many people realize how valuable these are. So yeah, even right now, you're still early, you guys. Like, there's only 21 Bitcoin, right? How many millionaires are out there? 5,000 of them, 1,000, maybe 50,000 of them. Who knows by now, right? How many millionaires? Like, I'm not talking about billionaires, okay? Millionaires. How many of them are there? So for each millionaire to have one Bitcoin, there's not enough, right? So that's the idea, is that how early are you into Bitcoin? So that's why MicroStrategy talk. I highly encourage you guys to look into MicroStrategy talk about Bitcoin. Okay, if you're skeptical about GME adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet, if you're one of those people who thinks that this is a magical internet money, highly recommend you to understand it at a deeper level here. But who knows? Again, it's all risk here. It's an investment for sure, but if you're stick around long enough, you might reap the benefit of people agreeing with you because it's inevitable, right? GME is inevitable. Bitcoin is inevitable for sure. I say he buy $1.3 billion between and sold the other to trap the short. Oh, that's, hey, sure. Okay. Perhaps. I mean, remain to be seen, right? We need to look at the I feel that too. Sure. That sounds like a good speculation. If that's the case, hey, we probably will be in the S&P 500 by two more quarters. Will be in the S&P 500. I trust the GME strategy for sure. Yeah, it's slow but very strong. It's too strong for people to be fooled anymore. Okay, so. Think about this, okay? People used to dream, okay? People used to dream about what is happening for GME today. Can you imagine if you invest 4 years ago into the company? Would you even imagine that they will have $6 billion in cash? Like, no, nobody would imagine that at all. The institution wouldn't imagine it. Retail wouldn't even imagine it. Yeah, this is a long-term accruing company for sure. Let's see. Oh, and this just illustrate once again that we are, inching towards the midline here, and this is a power law chart or whatever. But again, we're still in the desirable kind of fair value standpoint here in terms of this chart here. So we're yet to see that hype, okay? When people are saying Bitcoin is over, typically it's not, right? Look at the chaos, look at the tariffs, look at this, look at that, like to distract you from that blow off top. And then when it's trading in the mid this, right? The media is going to be like, oh yeah, it's going to go to 300,000, 4, 5, $10 million a coin, right? Then that's, max hype. People, this is when you're supposed to be taking some profit there. For Bitcoin anyway, right? Again, if you're long term, you don't really care about this, price action here. But typically, you want to buy below these two lines here, and then hold it for long term. You don't have to sell it. The whole idea is to chip it little at a time. Save for the future. Wait 10 years and then come back. All right, guys. I think I babble long enough. I think close to 2 hours now. And I hope you entertain a little bit. So, yeah. I will see you maybe tomorrow after work. I have to go back to work tomorrow. Yeah. That's the bad thing about going on vacation, is that when you come back, you have to clean all the mess. Anyway, I'm glad that I had some break though. What's going with what is the new narrative? Not much. I really think something is brewing. I haven't been discouraged. I see I see the consolidation, or maybe just the back test here of this trend line, and it's still very, very encouraging to see price again. This is like even more volatile than Bitcoin at the moment because the narrative is competing, right, with XRP. The narrative is still the same, you guys. Like nothing changed about the fundamental of these coins. They're trying to solve the cross-border payment type thing, and so I really think that they're waiting for the true regulation of Bitcoin, of stablecoin, of like waiting for the actual law of the land here. Okay, and so that's why you see the indecision with the price sometime. But just if you understand the technology that Ripple or XRP ledger, could achieve if people would have built on it. It's useful in that sense. Again, it's not going to be just one token rule the world. No, you see a lot of development in Chainlink, a lot of, other chain is going to play a role in that have some sort of, utility attached to the ecosystem here. So, Ripple have their own battle to fight, I'm sure, with the legacy, banking system. Can you imagine, like, try to fight the old banking system, or even try to help them, achieve even more, control? Who knows? Just babbling. Or, again, providing people more flexibility in transacting with the whole world here. So, the point is, just wait and see. But I feel like the fundamental of any of this coin hasn't changed yet. Bitcoin, XRP, XLM, I know not much talked about XLM though, but I think behind closed door they're doing something amazing too. I'm just betting that if XRP is doing well, XLM gonna do much better in terms of percentage because of the market cap, right? So small market cap, and this is bigger market cap than XLM. So that's the only reason why I have more XLM than XRP. But yeah, we'll see. Narrative could also change as well. So sentiment will flip up and down immediately. So if you just following the price action based on sentiment sometime, it's gonna make your head spin, right? So just focus on the fundamental, just know that the trend is going, the up and to the right, the price. Because if it's useful, right, people are going to use it eventually. So the hard part is when. We don't know when. That's the whole point. The hard part is how many people will wake up to that. And so you just have to wait for people to wake up. That's all. Yeah. So that's the worst part of investing in something that is valuable, right? And then the doubt, right? The doubt of, oh, what if it's wrong? What if you don't? What if your conviction? What if when that coin, you expect it to do something, it doesn't do it? And that's when you're starting to either get out of your position or stay in it, double down on it. So how does rich people make money? They concentrate their wealth on something they have high conviction on. Okay. All right, guys, I will let you go. I know. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see. Afternoon. Yeah. Have a good weekend. Tomorrow is Monday. It's gonna be exciting. Yeah, we'll see. Okay.